So, unfortunately, someone I know with a bow shot this female pregnant fallow deer in the head. So, to make use of the meat in full capacity, we decided to field dress the deer on the back of the ute, as we weren't able to hang it. It had sat on the back of the ute for a while. As in probably 2 hours. It was still warm, and it's essential to do this this field dressing, gutting while it is warm. Here we are feeling where the sternum finishes, the bone in the chest, so we know exactly where we can start cutting, knowing that it's not going to cut into the stomach. We've got to be careful that we cut in one direction, the same direction as the hair goes, because if you do it in the other direction at all, the hair gets all stuck in the knife and in the meat and stuff. So cut in line or along with the grain of the hair, and this is where we start. We get a blade and pop it in. I've got a special knife I'll show you here. The very tip's blunt. I've got a non-sharp edge, and we can poke it in without piercing the inside membranes. Now, this doe is pregnant, therefore it has an extra lining in the stomach, and so we've got to work with that. Normally it would be just a one-time pass through the stomach like this, running down. Normally you'd put your fingers in there to make sure that you not cutting the stomach lining. However, I actually had a cut on one of my fingers, so I didn't want to do that. But here we go. It's not going through both linings, so I'm just going to make sure that I'm getting into that second lining there very carefully, the tiniest hole, and then get your blunt knife blade back in there, and you'll be able to keep ripping it. Goes pretty easily. This particular doe is, as I said, very pregnant, and so there's a lot of pressure from within. At this point, if you're a bit squirmish, move on to the next video, so you don't want to see the rest of this. This is educational. This is a tutorial on how to do it on the back of the flap of the ute. This is how it's done. That's the very final lining opening up with the stomach now coming out. It's actually the placenta. That's where the baby is. At this point in time, we then cut around the rectum, right around, to contain any poo and stuff that's there. You get it all cut so that you can then, when you're pulling out from the inside, you pull all that out through, and it doesn't mess. You can't afford to get poo inside the carcass, else it wrecks your meat. So you've got to do this quite in a certain methodical order. Here we go. Now, on the next stages are delving in to try actually get hold of that intestine, or that pipe that heads out from the bowel to the outside. Once you've got that, you can get your hands around the very end to make sure no poo's coming out. You can rip it right out and out of the stomach, so you eliminate any, there it is, you see it there, so that you eliminate any probability of that messing inside the stomach lining. Here we're cutting the chest open. A good strong knife will actually cut through those chest bones, that sternum. To keep going, we pull the end out, the back out a bit more, and then we work, you'll see shortly, we work in with the diaphragm, getting that diaphragm loose, So we can then pull everything above that diaphragm. The lungs are isolated. So obviously if there's a bleed in the stomach, it doesn't affect the lungs because of that diaphragm. That's what it's there for, or one of the reasons. But so we get it all loose. Now we need to get the epiglottis, or the windpipe. We need to get that through. So to do that, we at this point now need to cut the head off. I have to do it quite carefully because the person who shot this, they actually want the pelt, which is the next video after this. We actually skin it, hanging, temporary hanging device I made up quickly. But yeah, this is just taking the head off neatly, taking into account what the pelt's going to look like when you skin it. That's cutting through the actual spinal cord, the vertebrae in the neck. It's very tough, and you need a meat saw, which is what I used, and just a fine little cut, and that kind of gets it off. There's the windpipe, you can see that I've just cut. So now I reach inside, and as far as I can up into the neck from the chest cavity to grab that windpipe. Once you've got that, basically there it is. Once you've got that, the rest of it all just follows. It will all just loosen up and come out. There you go. That's it. A few little things grabbing on, which you can see the kidneys, you can see the heart. The heart's hanging there. It's about the size of my fist, a little bit bigger. Just trim that up, get that off, and you've got a beautiful carcass just there.
How you going? Yeah, pretty good.
Do one of those puppet shows.
Bit of stupidity. Anyway, then we cut the front legs off at the lower knuckle or knee. You just give it a cut with the knife right round, and then you bend it backwards on itself so that it snaps on the cartilage on the knee, and then you just cut the final bit. It comes off fairly easy. The back legs, more or less the same, except you've got to be very careful not break them too close, because that's how we're going to hang the deer up by the back legs. So I like to just use a meat saw on that bone and just snap it off, and it's just a lot cleaner. I don't do anything with those legs and trotters. I definitely don't eat them, but I try to eat as much of that meat as I can, use as much of that animal. There I'm piercing holes so that in the legs, back legs, so we can actually put hooks in there and hang it.